Hi, this is Trey from Straight Ahead Samples. I just want to give you a quick overview of our new library, Straight Ahead Brushes and Mallets. It's the follow up to our Straight Ahead Jazz Drums library. We think it rounds out the whole jazz drums product line pretty nicely. A lot of cool stuff in here. Let's just dive right in. First thing you can see is we have them split up into tempo patches. Basically, each tempo gets its own patch. So ballad, slow, medium, fast, and burning. And then you have your mallets by itself. There's another video for the mallets if you want to check that out to get an idea of the sounds of that. But right now we'll just talk about the brushes. So let's go ahead and load the medium patch here. So first thing you notice, basically nothing is loaded when you start. So go ahead and load some drums. These green LEDs, as always, purge and load everything. We'll leave that loaded. Let's go ahead and make a thing. I'm gonna MIDI assign this. Yeah. Okay. So just to give you an idea of the sounds of the drums themselves. So left and right on the snares. This is where the brush stays on the snare after you hit it, as opposed to just a hit. More of an open sound. Then we have like the edge of the snare drum, like a rim. It swirls. Mod wheel changes the length. If you have the mod wheel just all the way up, it just kind of has timeless swirls. Pretty cool. Flams and these rhythm things, which are pretty cool. So you can see it's triplets and then it's sixteenths. Depends on the patch you're in, the tempo you're in. It'll do 8th notes or 16th notes or triplets or sextuplets. That's for all the toms and the snares. Pretty cool. Real quick, I want to show you this. One of the cool things is the snares on and off. We recorded everything snares on and off. So not just the snare drum with snares on and off, but like the kick drum in here, and then see there's no snare, ambient snares, but makes a big, and with it off, pretty cool. And that's everything, all the loops, all the fills, everything is snares on and snares off. It's really, really cool to be able to have control over that. Makes a big difference. Very different sound. So glad we did it. It made it twice as much work, but still pretty cool. So go through the cymbals here. Hi-hats, same as before. We actually did dynamics on the pedal hi-hat. Kind of cool. Splashes. Cymbals, same as before, 2 cymbals. We did some cool stuff with the brush, the back of the brush. The handle is a sort of metal handle. I recorded hitting the cymbals and the hi-hat with. And if you take the mod wheel up, you get scrapes. Kind of cool for nice touches on things. Toms. The snares off. Lots of dynamic. I think 8 dynamic layers on the drums and 8 round robins and all kinds of stuff. Cool. So that's the basic sound of the drums themselves. Let's talk about the loops here in the yellow area. And in the green area, we have the fills. So it's basically the same concept as straight ahead jazz drums, where we have loops, swing feels, and straight feels, and waltz feels. Instead of having 2 hands, though, before straight ahead jazz drums, we had ride cymbal patterns and then comping patterns that you would kind of play together. For brushes, it's not played that way, so it makes more sense for it to be all in one key. So you feel this snare drum patterns. We have all kinds of. This is just very swirly. Not much time to it at all. With a hi-hat. A lot of time the hi-hat key is right next to the one. So gradually getting more articulated about the tempo, about the time, all the way up to something like this. Pretty cool. So fills also. One cool thing we did with the fills this time is the hardest velocities crash at the end. So the crash as opposed to kind of a cool little added thing. Gives you a lot of variations. Wanted to bring up the mid samples again for all the swing patterns, or all the patterns in yellow. In straight ahead jazz drums, we realized it was really important to have loops that started after beat one. So you'll hear here, I'll just do one where you hit the hardest velocity, you get the mid sample. And basically what's going to happen is it's not going to play on the downbeat, but it picks up the loop in the middle from beat 2, or if it's a really fast tempo in the burn-in tempos, it picks it up from beat 3. So check it out if you can see the tempo going by. 2, 3, 4. So it's 2, 3, 4, and 1. It's really useful for after fills. Check this out. So if I play a fill, it doesn't make sense to bang to start right on the downbeat if you're going to have a crash. So it starts after the downbeat. It's pretty cool. So check it out. Kind of cool. You get the crash on the downbeat and then to the pattern. Very useful. So all that's still there. It's basically from straight ahead jazz drums. There's a lot of different tempos, a lot of different feels. So I won't go through too many more. I wanted to bring up this double time key switch again. Pretty cool. So double time everything. Standard time is back to the C7. Back and forth. Pretty cool. Want to say something about this C7 key switch. When you load back, if you save and close your project in Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, when you reopen it, everything saves like it should. We had some problems with that with the last update of straight ahead jazz drums, but we worked it out. But I will say that this C7 key switch is important. Sometimes if you're not hearing what you should be hearing, just give that a hit and it should trigger everything to be in the right place. So think of it as a key switch instrument. You have standard time, double time. It's going to want to hear that. It's going to want to get this this key switch up there. So I might suggest just playing it in at the beginning of the sequence or something like that. So when you reload, it will remember, or it'll trigger the right samples. So it does save. Everything works as it should. Just when in doubt, hit that key switch. Okay, real quick, let's look at this feel thing. If I load up, go ahead and load up the straight samples. So using this feel knob to move between feels, it's really cool. So if I start with straight, so we got that, and I'm moving back to 4/4. The next key I hit will be 4/4 swing. Let me go back to straight, a different pattern. Here we go. So moving back and forth between straight and 4/4 and 3/4, it's really seamless now. You can, MIDI assign all these guys to make it really easy and it'll remember everything. So that's the basic interface. Of the loop quantize button works just like you would think. Loops all start on the downbeat if you've got it active. If you don't, it'll start whenever you press it. If you've got it active, it'll wait to the next one. The only other thing I want to talk about real quick is the mixer. It's kind of self-explanatory, but a lot of people ask for this feature to be able to change the balance and kind of do your own thing as far as the mix is concerned. So you've got all the different faders here, and of course they're all assignable as they should be. Makes sense, right? You can also use contacts outputs to go to separate outputs if you wanted to send the kick to one fader and the snare to a different fader. It's pretty cool. And, I guess you could process some stuff differently in your DAW using the multi-outs and contact. And I'll try to do a tutorial on how to do that at some point. But that's basically it. So, yeah, thanks for watching. And you can check out, I'll do another one on the Mallets. And, yeah, thanks again.